So they basically teach you how to work for somebody. They don't teach you how to be a boss and to have your own business. And
that's exactly what it is. And this is why I personally think that Andrew got canceled. They don't want that.
You know, you got to try and train yourself to be like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not going to let it like eat me out. Whoa.
Warning. This video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness.
All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You guys know it is. It's your boy Kevin, and you guys know the lovely Miss Stephanie.
Hello.
So we're gonna do more of the boy Andrew Tate. Okay, we're gonna be checking another Andrew Tate video. If you don't respect Andrew Tate, watch this. All right, so we're gonna watch this because I know. How do you feel about him?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. Like I said before, there's some things I agree with and there's some that I don't.
Okay, well, hopefully we can change your mind.
I didn't know much about you before this year, and then I suddenly became very aware of you as the world did, because, as I said earlier, you were the #1 subject searched on Google ahead of Donald Trump. I didn't think it was even possible. Why did you get suddenly so popular / infamous, do you think?
I exploded. I certainly didn't do that with magic. I've been on the internet for a very long time. I think in the world we live in now, as the other side, the people who disagree with me, as they get more and more tyrannical in their censorships and their hate mobs, etc., as standard masculine practices are deemed toxic, I didn't put a magic spell on everybody. I managed to accumulate a large amount of affinity with the male populace across the Western world, because I'm simply saying things that many men believe, think, and feel.
When I've gone over,
that's a good statement right there. Well, he said that many men believe this, but it never actually came out and say it till this guy. You feel that I feel like many men do feel this way?
I don't know about many men, but I'm pretty sure there are a few men that do, and there are a few men that don't.
Okay.
The thing that's been at the center of the debate about Andrew Tate, I come down with Joe Rogan in the sense that there's a lot of stuff you say I agree with. You know, I've got 3 sons in their 20s. It's not easy actually being a young male in the modern world. And I think a lot of the things that you say about that can resonate with them. The problem comes with the, 10, 20% or whatever of your output, which on the face of it appears to be blatant misogyny. And when you couple that with your massive influence and huge reach, that is why the social media companies have decided to effectively cancel you. I don't believe in cancellation. I don't believe in censorship, particularly. That's why I've invited you to come on the show. But I do think a lot of the things you've said are blatant misogyny. Do you accept that?
So you made a very interesting point there. You just said on the face of it appeared to be blatantly misogynistic. I understand that. On the face, some of the long format content I've made, you're going to take a few seconds out of hours, chop it up, put it all over social media, accompanied with my massive fame, but things can absolutely not be taken out of context. I do not hate women in any regard. I have no negative relationship with women. No women have come forward saying I've hurt them. I have no criminal record for hurting women. There's no way I can be seen as the face or the devil in regards to how men treat women on the planet. I'm absolutely and utterly the opposite. I believe in protecting and providing. I've been misunderstood. There's been large contingents of people who have tried very hard to purport lies about me. And the truth of the matter is, I've been producing content for a very long time. Hours and hours of videos been cut down to 2 or 3 seconds a clip. Those clips have gone viral and people misunderstand me.
So you said this about Me Too stroke. This is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Remain. In Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. You go to the police and say you back in 1988, they'll say, well, you should have done something about it back then.
Yeah, so the point I was making was obviously behind the Me Too scandal, and also if we look at Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, there's been a lot of high-profile cases where men have been accused of things they did not do without evidence, and their lives have been completely and utterly destroyed. When I say these things, people sit and say that, oh, he hates women. I don't hate women. I think it's disgusting. I would take a stronger stance than the British government. I think these people should face the death penalty. But to sit and say that women without evidence can go forward and just make up accusations against men, even though they've been repeatedly proven to destroy men's lives at will, is absolutely not.
What about a woman who was back in 1988?
Then the man should face absolute and complete justice.
But you understand that when that clip appears on TikTok, as a clip, and all right,
it's a clip, completely.
Okay, but it's still something came out of your mouth. You accept that when that appears on TikTok, a lot of young, maybe not as smart as you, young men, right, impressionable teenagers will read that and go, what's he saying? Is he saying that it doesn't exist?
No, completely. I'm not going to sit here as a professional and say that I can't be taken out of context. What I will say is that one small sentence you've taken was from a 1-hour video where I explained that, of course, it's disgusting. Of course, everybody should be punished for their crimes regardless of when they happen. But people are not perfect, male and female. And if you give women the opportunity to destroy men's lives without evidence, there's going to be a contingent of women who will do that.
Yeah.
I've seen a quote from you, and you can tell me what you feel.
So how do you feel about that part?
Well, that part is true.
There's plenty of women out there who just say stuff about men and ruin their lives. And guess what? Even after they found out, like, it may not be true, nothing happens to the women, but yet the man's life is pretty much destroyed. I
can't say if anything happens to the women because I'm not there. I don't read up and see.
Well, majority of the time, look at Amber Heard, for example.
You know, again, she's rich. So
do you feel like she made false accusations? It wasn't true. It was found it wasn't true, but yet she's not tossed into jail.
But that's the thing, though. She's rich. And I was like, why the hell is she not being jailed for lying?
Yeah.
Jailed for a lot of things that she did in court. So what the hell? But I feel like a regular, everyday person, they would get in trouble. I know if my ass lied, I would get in trouble. Or sometimes, I don't know, they do excuse it.
Yeah, and that's the problem now. They shouldn't excuse that at all.
Yeah, but
right? If it was the other way around, the guy would probably get tossed in jail.
But I think if you're going to base it on like rich celebrity people, well-known people versus regular people probably do get in trouble. They probably do. The rich obviously is a horrible example, and that really pisses me off when I see things like that and they just walk away and like nothing happens.
Okay, here's another one that's not so rich. Okay, this is normal people. Carla Homolka. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about that. And what's his name again? What's the guy's name again? Carla Homolka and... But anyways, Carla Homolka.
Oh, so his name's with a B, I think.
Yeah. So that, whatever. Carla Homolka and the other guy, why did he get more time and she's out right now? You think that's fair? They both committed a crime.
You know what? There was more evidence on him.
Because that's what she said. Remember that? She said it. She brought the evidence against him.
No. This is what happened. There was more evidence on him than there was on her because there was videotapes.
Yeah.
There was videotapes.
Was there committing the crime together.
Right.
If it was two men doing that, guarantee you both those guys are getting the same amount of time.
But the weird thing is, I don't understand why she's out.
She shouldn't be out. Right?
Because
I don't think she should be out at all.
Her claim was that he was like basically forcing her to do it. But if you watch the videos, there's no force in it. And it looks like she's actually enjoying herself.
Exactly.
She's clearly a part of it. But I think she also got lesser time because she brought him in.
Because she turned him in. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So that's what, again.
She had like a deal.
They're trying to say it's not fair again. If it was two men who did that, I guess both men are going to jail for the same time. But whatever.
I mean, like, I don't know. That's a tricky thing to say because people do get deals, feminine or not.
I'm just trying to think if there's another case where two men could have killed someone. I just can't think of anything right now.
Yeah.
Sure. You talk about people don't want to see men dressed up in dressing like transgender.
That's not exactly what I said. I said the reason I am so popular and I'm so famous is that there's a large contingent of men who don't want to wear makeup, who still want to make money, go to the gym, be strong, drive a fast car, be traditionally masculine, and don't want to be shamed for that. And they don't want to be called toxic for that. That's the reason I'm so massively famous.
You support transgender?
Sure. Why not?
Exactly, yeah.
So, but my point is, as a whole, you're saying that I'm saying I don't want to see men in dresses. I'm saying no.
You support gay people?
Sure. Yeah. I'm saying there's a large contingent of men in the world who like the idea of the traditional masculine view of the world, who feel happy when they watch 80s action heroes with big muscles and they run around. And there's nothing toxically masculine about having a fast car and a beautiful girlfriend and making a bunch of money. And
nothing at all.
Absolutely. And those are the people who are my fans.
What do you believe about depression? Do you believe depression is a real thing?
I believe that feeling depressed is real. I don't believe depression as a clinical disease is real.
Really?
Correct.
You don't believe people can be clinically depressed?
I think PTSD is very real. Unfortunately, I have some friends who suffer from that. I know that feeling depressed is real. I believe that the number one power you have against these things are trying to take control of your own mind and affecting your own life. I believe.
So I feel like he's basically just saying what he has experienced, because he clearly just said that he doesn't think depression is a clinical thing. It's more of, just feeling sad. But then PTSD is an actual thing, because why? He had friends who experienced it. So there he has close experience with friends who have had it.
Yeah.
So what happened with depression?
Well, I don't know. I guess because when you in PTSD, whatever it said, when you're in a war, these are things you actually see, right? You see someone blowing up in front of you, seeing your best friend.
Yeah, but PTSD is not just war related.
What's like trauma, like an accident or something like that?
Yeah.
Like also PTSD.
Yeah. You could be raped and then have PTSD.
Yeah, that's true.
PTSD comes from any kind of trauma.
You have to be like, if you go through something you experienced, that's what he's trying to say. I'm thinking. Because
I can say to him that depression clinically is a thing, because I know people.
But usually there's a reason why you get depressed, right? You built up to it. Do you think you built up to it, or it's just something you just bam, all of a sudden I'm depressed all of a sudden, all the time?
No, it could be clinically.
Or choices in your life.
It can be clinically thing. It can be a clinical thing. Like you can be born and have like a disbalance in your brain, but you wouldn't know that they have a depression until they really start showing it.
Yeah.
Right. If they're antisocial, like your child I'm referring to is like antisocial, kind of just keeps to himself, herself, doesn't have a lot of friends or no friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of goes slowly into like a serial killer kind of thing, but like not always, but like, yeah, I feel like 100% it's clinical. It's a clinical thing.
All right.
Not just PTSD.
Well, I can't really talk too much about that, but it's just what I think.
That it's not healthy to hand over all your power and believe that depression is an outside disease that you can't affect. I know that when I've had difficult periods of my life, and also many of my friends, like I've said, suffer from PTSD and been through terrible things. I've lived a very difficult life, and I know people who have. That the things that made them feel better is when they woke up and said, you know what, I'm not going to allow this to damage me anymore. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to get up. I'm going to fight this as hard as I can.
And by the way, on that, I agree.
Okay, I agreed with that one.
Scientific medical reality. There's a different argument about have we gone a bit too soft, right? In schools and all the rest of it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I think some people moan and whine too much about melodic?
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. Are we a victim of society? 100%.
Okay.
Is there such a thing as clinical depression? Absolutely. So and my argument is that if you actually bracket everybody who's not clinically depressed, doesn't have a genuine medical condition, then actually if millions of people are deemed to have depression, the ones who really need the help don't get it. Well, that's my point.
Well, that I would agree with. You're right. I think it's certainly an overused term.
You don't say there is such a thing as clinical.
Well, I don't.
And that to me is a damaging view.
Okay. Well, let me explain why. If someone comes to me and says, I'm clinically depressed, or I feel very, very sad, I would say the first thing you need to do is stop accepting the identity of a clinically depressed person. Stop accepting you have no control over this. And what you need to do is stop identifying that way, and let's work together to try and fight against it. The thousands of people who have emailed me saying, my doctor told me I was clinically depressed and it's a disease that I have got in my brain and I can't be fixed. And I started listening to you and I realized that that's not the case and I can fix my own life and you're the only person who has ever helped me. It's not ludicrous.
It is.
It's not.
If you said to me, we're in a victim of society, it's got to stop, I'm with you.
Okay.
But the moment you try and deny clinical depression,
I believe.
But then I also want to mention another thing, though. There's a lot of misdiagnosis that happens too. So there could be a person that kind of has the traits of being depressed, and then they're talking to somebody who's going to like diagnose them, but then they're saying all the right things to be depressed, or even like the person that's evaluating them maybe didn't have the best judgment, and they're just like, yeah, let me just do my job. You're depressed, like, and sign it up. Yeah. So there probably is people out there who aren't exactly clinically depressed, or they could just be really mild, and mild is a lot easier to just kind of wake up and be like, I'm going to change my life. Like, you know, if you're like severely depressed, that's more towards like suicide and all that, then it's a lot harder because they're deeper in it. Yeah.
I would agree with that. I just think clinical depression is just used way too much.
not even just clinical, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like a lot of people would just throw that word out like it's nothing. I'm depressed. Like
why are you depressed?
What do you mean? You're not depressed. Like if they're having a bad day and literally this person is not clinically depressed, they're just a regular person.
Yeah.
Everything's good with them. They have a bad day and they're like, oh, I'm depressed. Like,
okay,
you're not depressed though. Just say you're sad.
Oh, you're having a bad day.
Yeah, you had a bad day. You're sad. Don't throw depressed, because then that's where people don't take it seriously because everyone's saying it.
Yeah,
you know. So
and that's the major problem right there.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're having a bad day, okay, well maybe go sleep on it, find something else to do, get your mind off it. It's another day tomorrow. We'll start over from there.
Yeah,
right. So that's why I just feel it's just tossed out there way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling depressed is real. I do not believe it's a disease that you catch from the sky and you cannot affect. I believe that no matter what happens, I believe you have control of your own mind and you can fight against it. I believe if you change the circumstances in your life, you may feel different. I'll give you a quick example. I had a guy who emailed me saying he was clinically depressed and was going to kill himself. I obviously am not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor.
I didn't catch that. What did you say?
He had a client that said he was clinically depressed and he's going to kill himself.
Oh, okay.
I replied to my emails. I said, have you been to a psychiatrist? He said, yes, I'm clinically depressed. I've been on these pills, this amount of time. I'm on antidepressants and it doesn't work. I said, I don't know what to say to you besides this. And he said he lost his girlfriend. That's why I became clinically depressed. I said, listen, go to the gym, get a 6-pack first. Once you've got a 6-pack, email me again. If you still feel like killing yourself, I don't know what else to say. I'd say, strong body is a strong mind, go train. He went, he started sending me progress pictures, emailing me him getting in better shape, and eventually got a 6-pack. He's now a professional bodybuilder. And he said, I can't believe I was considering that. I feel so much better, etc. The doctor was telling him he was clinically depressed and couldn't cure it. He started taking control of his own life, and now he felt better.
Wow.
Okay, so that's kind of different. Like,
how is that one different?
To me, it doesn't seem like this guy was clinically depressed.
The doctor said it though.
He literally, I know. He literally just like, oh, I lost my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people break up.
He also went to a therapist as well. Therapist told him the same thing.
Mm-hmm. He went to the therapist, but like this is where I feel like misdiagnosis kind of comes in, because this guy is basically, when you break up with somebody, you feel like it's the end of the world.
Yeah, everyone feels like that. Well, most people, at least, if you actually care about the person.
Most people feel like it's the end of the world. They become really sad. They kind of dwell in their own sadness, and all they're feeding to themselves is sad, oh me, poor me, sad, whatever, which makes them become depressed, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So in that kind of scenario, I feel like anybody can just get up and be like, you know what? I'm not going to think about that girl. I'm not going to focus on, being sad about it. I'm going to change myself around, realize that relationship is over, and pick myself back up, work on myself, and move forward. That's it.
Okay.
So I feel like for that kind of scenario, it's easy. And I don't understand the people who dwell and like don't eat and all that stuff because of a breakup. Like, to me, that's ridiculous. Like, we've known from like how young we were when we had our first little heartbreak from a crush, that we felt like it was the end of the world. And then what happened? We moved on. We got a new boyfriend, got our girlfriend, got our heart broken again, felt like it was the end of the world, and then met a new one. It's like a cycle. Like, you know what I mean? You have to just have time to recover.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny how you said about these doctors and the therapists. So sometimes, even though these people go to school for all these things, they're not always right.
Oh no, because you know what? I'll tell you this. Some people go to school for those things because they genuinely want to help people who have those issues. And then there's others who just go because they just want the money that comes with it. Same thing as nurses and all that. Like, that's why you got to be careful. Like, some people you go to don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
And some of them actually do. Some just go because they want to just be like, okay, I diagnosed this person. Great. Not everyone's right. They're still human. They're not like robotic people that know everything. They're still human. So they're going to make errors.
Yeah.
Just like how, this, and they diagnose you based on what the client is telling them. And then they're checking this list like, okay, he said he had this. He said he had that. Okay, that aligns with depression. You're depressed. Here you go. And
just
then
like that.
It might not work.
It doesn't
work.
Like, I don't feel like it's for everybody. Like, you can't just follow a book and like, okay, they got this and this, and then you're depressed.
Right.
You don't know the whole story.
Everyone is different. And some of the what do you call it? Some of the effects of certain like depression, PTSD, bipolar, whatever is the same as one another. So you can misdiagnose
very easily, right? But it was funny that because this guy was going to kill himself, and Andrew kind of told him, well, before you do that, go to the gym. I guess what happens, what I noticed for me, especially as a guy, you go to the gym, you start building some muscle, getting this thing six pack, your confidence like boosts, like skyrockets like instantly. I've seen guys who were like skinny kids started working out and started getting more attention from girls, and that boosted their confidence so quick. So I feel like this guy, instead of just wanting to kill himself, he just needed a confidence boost.
See, I never understood a person that wants to kill themselves because of a relationship. I would never freaking do that because I got broken up with, you know what I mean? And I feel like people like that who want to kill themselves over a breakup or want to threaten that person, like, I'm going to jump off a bridge if you don't get back together with me. Like, those people have other issues, you know?
It's like they're trying to trap you.
Yeah, they have some kind of screws loose there because that's not normal.
No.
That's not normal to do at all.
No.
That's crazy.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think he's depressed. I think maybe he's a little bit crazy or was a little crazy.
Was because after the gym he kind of said I think let's just watch it.
Yeah.
Your rants in public to tens of millions of people denying something because this guy writes to you and says he had it and you cured. And I think that's a dangerous mindset, Andrew.
That's fine.
That's where you don't have a responsible view of your influencer.
Disagree. It's very responsible because I'm saving people's lives. I disagree that if you feel depressed, I disagree that you cannot affect it and change your life and take control and fix yourself and feel happier. I disagree with that.
Do you think
I refuse to accept that there are people out there who cannot become happy, contented individuals.
So do you think he has a point there? He's saying that pretty much people can control their lives if they really want to.
So this is the thing. You are in control of your life.
Yeah.
You know, your brain, your mind is very, very powerful. It's just people don't know how to unlock that and kind of change that mindset, you know, that way of thinking. Because if you actually change your mindset to be like that better person and not always think negative, instead of, you know, messing up on something and say, oh, I'm so stupid, you kind of say to yourself, you know what? I messed up. I'm going to try again. This time I will do whatever different that I did before that I messed up on and go from there. So it's like people have to learn to kind of coach themselves to be more positive and more positive affirmations rather than negative ones. And then that's how you can change your mindset. But it's tough though. It's not easy at all.
I just think people don't like failure. That's the problem.
Well, that too, because
it have to be able to accept failure. You will fail at things in life, but it's the after. What are you going to do when you do fail? You know what? I feel like a good way to look at failure is like your training. Yeah. Your training plate, right? So I think it's better that you try something and fail rather than not try at all, and then you don't even know what would have happened, what could have happened. Because you don't want to have regrets. That's what, for me at least, I feel like just, you know what, try things, try many times. If you fail, you fail. Just get up and try again. Try something different. Yeah, don't do the same thing. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks to fail. It does. It really does. It kind of hurts your ego a bit. Like, oh, a lot. Yeah, a lot. Yeah. But, you know, you got to try and train yourself to be like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not going to let it like eat me out. Whoa. You better let that. Leave that one in there. I'm not going to let that eat at me. Whoa. Oh, then we got to go cut. Yeah. So I'm not going to let it eat at me, and I'm just going to go at it again. Yeah. You know? All right. And it's always good when you have, you know, your little cheerleaders, your friends that kind of like boost you and like, yeah, just keep trying it. If you don't have it, you know what, then you got to be it yourself. Yeah, exactly. You got to be your biggest cheerleader. Cheerleader. Yeah. That's what at the end of the day. All right.
Refuse to accept we live in a world where God is creating people who, no matter how hard they work and how good their life becomes, can't be happy. I don't accept that. I accept that the universe is a very giving place. and that God loves all of us. If you try your best and you work hard, you can become a better person. And I also will argue with you, and I'll counter the point that you sitting here on your platform telling people they have clinical depression, there's nothing they can do about it. It's far more say that. Okay, well then, if they have clinical depression,
why do you misquote?
No, because you're saying
being misquoted.
No, you're saying if people have clinical depression, then
they go to the doctor and they get diagnosed and they get help.
Then I would argue the point that
somebody opposite of what you just said.
I would argue the point that if somebody has depression of any kind, whether it's clinical, whether it exists or not, whether they feel depressed or not, whatever, that taking control of their life, taking personal responsibility, and working hard is always going to be the positive, best thing they can possibly do for their life going forward.
How positive is it?
So sitting there saying, I don't believe in clinical depression, you don't believe in depression. No, I don't. I believe that people can take control and fight against things. I believe in personal sovereignty.
Should young men, though, all aspire to be like?
Should young men aspire to work very hard, have no criminal record, become multimillionaires, protect and provide for the women close to them, being sovereign so they can stand up and have their own points of view and face cancellation? Be able to not be mentally intimidated when they go on national TV and there's tracks set up for them. Yeah, I believe that confident, strong men who stand up and protect and provide for women are a good thing for the world and a good force for the world. I don't think that I put a magic spell on anybody. I think there's a whole bunch of men in the world who understands my value. And if men grow up to be like me, you're going to have a whole bunch of people with no criminal record, dedicated athletes who protect and provide for people close to them, are fantastic for the economy. And I'm certainly not the worst influence out here, Piers. You have Little Nas twerking on the devil on music videos, which our children are digesting. You have drill artists singing about stabbing people to death in the middle of a knife crime epidemic. You have rabid psychopaths on the right or the left announcing violence on the other side.
Okay, so how do you feel about that one? Like, do you feel like Andrew Tate, do you think he's as bad as people want to portray him as? Like, he made a good point there. They're saying that he's bad for boys to look up to, but he made kind of a point. You know, he works hard.
This is a
he
thing.
Has no criminal record. He's an athlete. He became a millionaire.
He has no criminal record, but he has some stuff
there's charged, but
pending right now.
But nothing. He has no criminal record. You can sure he can be charged. It's just remember, it's just a accusation, right? People assume, but has no charges, no record, nothing.
So my thing with Andrew Tate is that some things he says I can agree with, and some things I really just can't stand that he says.
So what about the Lil Nas X thing? Do you think that's okay? But you're putting
Lil
that
Nas?
Yeah. You seen that video?
I haven't.
That Satan one when he's dancing.
I haven't seen him twerking on the devil, but I've seen some of the music video.
Heard the song before.
Yeah. So I mean, that video alone is strange.
Should he be canceled for that? He should have been canceled for that. How you feel? Do you think Andrew Tate should have been canceled for what he said, or Lil Nas should be canceled?
I don't know everything that he said. That's the problem. But I feel like certain things shouldn't be posted. But again, we already know, like, the world that we live in, the media, they decide what they want to show us and our kids, right? Remember, you got to keep in mind that those people have their own agenda of things. So for them canceling him out, I don't know whatever reasoning that they said, because he's spreading monogamy or whatever.
Yeah, that's why. That's why they cancel him. They think he's being aggressive towards women.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's spreading that, right? Hate. And then
that's what I say. He's spreading hate.
He's spreading hate.
Yeah.
But then now whoever's putting whatever on the media, that's government controlled. So yeah. I mean, what can you really do about that? Like, they're gonna be like, we want that on there for whatever reasoning they want it there.
But there's people a lot worse than that Andrew Tate out there. Right. Yeah. And they're still having canceled, still being on the media. They're everywhere.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. These drill artists talking about killing and stabbing people. Like, why? And why they have not been canceled. Lil Nas X, Dancing on the Devil.
What drill artist?
When they say drill artist, I think like a 6ix9ine.
But then you gotta remember that
telling girls be a hoe most time in their songs.
We're not gonna get into Cardi B because she's not telling people to kill people or whatever. But like, when you want to refer to like killing,
yeah,
you gotta also remember, like, when it comes to killing, like, who's listening to that kind of music?
Younger kids.
But what cultural kids?
Mostly black kids.
Okay, so remember, like I said, the government has an agenda, right?
Yeah, they're targeting the black kids.
They want that to be there.
Yeah.
Right? They don't care about black people, right? So they want that to be there.
Yeah.
They want to target that. They want to make that the influence.
But now that Andrew is talking about becoming rich, and how to make money and empowering yourself, they don't like it.
That could be another reason too. Yeah. Because they don't want people to be making money like that. They want to have people that are under them. Yeah.
And then that's the thing about it. He's saying that like that's what this whole matrix thing comes about. He says people need to wake up and realize what's going on. Like, how come they don't teach you how to bank in school, how to, like, the useful skills, unless you like
for life. So basically what I believe they teach us is to just be a yes man, and then just work for the higher up person. So they teach you how to just work below.
Right. You got to go to school a certain time, every morning, Monday to Friday. You go to school 8 o'clock, you finish school at 3 o'clock or whatever time, every day till you're ready to go into the workforce. So pretty much when your employer or someone sees you and know, like, okay, you graduate top of his class. This guy knows how to listen very well. This guy follows instructions very well. I'm going to hire that guy because he's going to make me a lot of money.
Yeah. So they basically teach you how to work for somebody. They don't teach you how to be a boss and to have your own business. And
that's exactly what it is. And this is why I personally think that Andrew got canceled. They don't want that. It's not only because of, like, yes, I understand the stuff about the women, but you got to remember, they're just trying to focus it on the women. They're not focusing on the other part. Why they not?
Have to have a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just focusing on that. And that's it. They won't say, okay, this guy, look at him. This guy was poor. This guy had nothing, but he built something up at 35 and now he's a millionaire. And now he's trying to teach other men and other people, not just men, so I'd say other people, because he has females as well that he teaches. He teaches them to become rich and how to be independent and be your own boss. And they don't like that. And I think that's why, the main reason why he got canceled.
And it's the thing though too that I don't understand is why cancel people. Like that part aggravates me. Like, you shouldn't be canceled.
I hate this.
Social media is supposed to be for everybody. Are being canceled, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
you gotta kind of question all of that kind of stuff.
I think the other one was coming up. The Jeffrey Dahmer thing. You remember that just happened? They wanted to cancel. Who was it? Pink? Was it Pink that had? What's this? No, Katy Perry. They wanted to cancel Katy Perry after the Jeffrey Dahmer series.
But who wanted to? Just random people?
Yeah, random people. Like, because she said, cut your head out.
I'll eat your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer.
They wanted to cancel. And this was a song that was written like so long ago. Yeah, they want to cancel.
Which is so funny. I remember when that song came out and I heard that line. I'm like, oh, they're talking about Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, I knew who that was.
And most people didn't at that time. Well, kids. Now they're making, in the 2023, they're trying to make a big deal out of it when it's not.
They're making a big deal about it because now it's like something that's gone and everyone knows who Jeffrey Dahmer is all of a sudden now. And I've knew, like I said, I'm into all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I knew of Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
All of those, Wayne, like the clown guy, all of those people. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. Let's see watching.
Well, all these insanities in the world. Because I sit here and say, perhaps. Now you've laid it out. Offended you, I understand.
I didn't say offended.
Okay, cool.
I just read you the thing.
You read things that you said they could be offensive, and some people are offended.
No, some people definitely.
Absolutely. That's fine.
And honestly, I think some of them you said were genuinely offensive and misogyny.
Okay, so like I said earlier, so they offended you, which is fine. I said they offended you, you interrupted me, and now you're saying they offended you, which is fine. And the point I'm trying to make is this: I'm not the devil. There's certainly worse people than me, and they exist. And I'm saying that my core tenets for the people who don't understand are self-accountability, so I'm accountable for what I've said. My core tenets are responsibility, so I'm responsible for everything I've said. My core tenets are traditional masculinity to a degree, which involves protecting and providing for women. And I'll make another point. Another point here that needs to be said. The number of women who have stood up and stuck up for me is ignored. Thousands of women are making videos saying, Andrew Tate's such a nice guy. I wish I had a man like Andrew Tate who felt responsible to protect and provide for me. You know what? I do belong to my husband. That's why I married him. I love him. We ignored the thousands of women who stood up and stood by me and said everything I said is true.
Yeah. See, that is true. A lot of women have came up and stood up for Andrew Tate, but no one's talking about them. They're trying to quiet them in the media. Right? He's like, he's traditionally masculine. Like, he believes, like I said, protect the women and and provide.
Well, like I said, like some of the things that he said I didn't like and I didn't agree with, like when you mentioned protect the women, or he was like saying that she shouldn't be allowed to go to a certain place without him. He's going to come along like a party or whatever.
Yeah, to protect her.
Well, no, not to protect her, because a woman doesn't exactly need to be protected when she goes out.
But as soon as something happens, guess what? Who that woman's going to call? Oh, baby, this guy did something. Can you come get me?
Yeah, well, not everything's going to happen. We can't live our life like that.
You can't.
That I need a bodyguard because something's going to happen to me.
But why do you need to go out by yourself? Sometimes he's trying to say, well, maybe we should all hang out,
Because she should be allowed to go out by herself, just like anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
We all have our own life. It's just that person I'm with is now a part of my life, as I'm a part of that person's life.
Yeah.
But even though we're a part of each other's life, we have our own separate lives as well.
All right.
Yeah.
I simply ask you this. What has come clear to me in the interview is that a lot of things you say you wouldn't say now, you said before. That's it differently. Yeah. Right. So to me, that's an acceptance. Not just that you want to get back on platforms, because maybe that was one of the reasons you were no platform, but that you've recognised and understood the potential harm to the wrong kind of impressionable mind by some of the things you said. Would that be fair?
I think that's 80% fair. I recognize and understand that with massive fame, you have to be more careful about being misconstrued. Like I said earlier, 1% of people misunderstanding you doesn't matter with a small audience. It matters with a very large audience. With power comes responsibility. I still believe the things I say. I do not want to be a negative force for the world. I also understand that I am a man who's lived a very difficult, nuanced life, and I am capable of making nuanced points that may be misunderstood by teenagers. However, that can be said about anybody and everything. Every opinion online can be misunderstood by children. Trying to protect children from the internet is a very interesting subject in and of itself, because I would argue that 80% of the content of the internet is going to be negative, detrimental to a young mind that doesn't understand. Yeah. I'd argue that all of it. We just talked about music videos, dancing on the devil, and all this stuff is dangerous.
By the way, I think you make a very good point. So a lot of these rap stars, the lyrics, the videos, I think far exceed anything that you've been accused of doing.
Completely.
Because in a lot of cases, some of them promote non-consensual activity with people, right? And I think that crosses the line you have, as far as I've seen, you haven't crossed that line.
No, I haven't. And this is the thing. And I've been vilified, not because of the things I say, because much more extremist content already exists on the internet. I think the reason I've been attacked and vilified is because of popularity, because I became so massively famous, not because of what I was actually saying. So as a professional, I analyze that and I understand that, okay, I'm massively famous now. I'm starting to take out content. However, I still do believe I'm a force within the world. And I'm not going to sit here and
change.
It's not about changing.
Well, it is. We're all involved in evolution. How old are you now?
36.
26, right? I bet you're a different person than what you were when you were 26.
Oh, that's absolutely.
It's a real change. You keep talking about being a good person. I think if you're honest with yourself, that you can see why people found all the stuff you said problematic and misogynist. And I think you recognise you wouldn't express yourself in that way again, because you've understood that it's causal of harm. That's really what I wanted to get to today, was an acknowledgement by you that these things clearly were said in the wrong way, created the wrong impression if you didn't mean them the way you intended, and can therefore have a malevolent influence when you have a huge following.
Yeah, when you have a huge following, you certainly have to be a lot more careful about how you get certain points across. That's absolutely a fact.
All right, so let's see this. So after watching that, how do you feel about Mr. Tate?
Well, like I said,
Okay, let's keep it simple. Okay, do you think he deserves to be canceled about that?
No.
You don't think he should be canceled?
Mm-mm.
Some of the points he was going across about, like Lil Nas X, for example, that one really bothers me, because there's a lot worse things that are being promoted on media and they're not being canceled. Do you agree on that?
Well, I mean, there's more worse things than just Lil Nas dancing on the devil. But
I mean, there's just more.
It's just internet in general has a lot of things that shouldn't even be on there, and they're there.
Yeah.
You know, you can find like the most disgusting stuff on platforms like Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's
and it's there. I'm just like, how is that even there?
How is it allowed on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. But yet they want to cancel this guy. Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. Even though some of the things I don't like that he says, there's no reason for him to be canceled, because a lot of people like to scream out, oh, freedom of speech.
Yeah, right?
So I don't know what happened with that. I guess we don't have that anymore.
No.
As long as it's doesn't go against like
the higher power of the people,
mm-hmm.
the bigger guy up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's why they cancel him, because they don't like the fact that he's teaching people like you got to wake up, up, people.
Yeah,
the world's not supposed to be like this. You guys are just being the puppets.
Yeah,
he doesn't want people
you're told,
right? Because you be doing what you're told pretty much.
So that's the only stuff I can say I agree with him. And when he goes on about other things, I'm like, But when it comes to that, yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, guys, so that's the end of the video. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. If you guys made it all the end, you guys know what to do. Give the video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you guys are new. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.
See ya.